That's the biggest advice that I would give to somebody that's like younger, or even now, like just making sure your heart is in the right place. Like, why do you want to date? Why do you want somebody in your life? And then more importantly, are you making this person or this thing or this desire bigger and more important than God? Because if you are, it's never going to work out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what in you do you feel like having this person in your life is going to fulfill that you or God cannot fulfill? Like, yeah, so just wholeness, just knowing like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Do I want somebody there? Yeah. But whatever things in myself that I feel like are lacking or like broken, like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I'm whole. And one person cannot come into my life and like change that.
Yeah.
Only I'm in control of that.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Ray of Light TV podcast. I am your host, Raven, and I'm here with a special guest. Not even gonna call her a guest because she is my co-host for today, Miss Rajeen.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for inviting me.
Of course. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes. So today's episode is going to be focused on a grown woman girl talk. And I thought Rajeen would be the perfect person. So just to give you a little background on Rajeen, and you can definitely tell about yourself. Rajeen is what she likes to call a beauty connoisseur. YouTube girly, has a YouTube channel, does all her beautiful faith things. And she's just awesome. So I thought she would be a great person to have on today. Anything to add that I didn't say?
I am also a business owner and a financial specialist, licensed financial specialist. So that too.
Yeah, so she's going to help us get our money right. And we're going to talk about that thing she wished she knew earlier about money. But before we start, what is one thing that you are just loving and living in your grown woman season right now?
Taking care of myself more and like being more intentional about setting that time aside and taking care of myself. But I've always been like that. I just feel like in this season, I'm just more aware.
Okay.
So yeah, coming to church, reading my Bible, getting outside, eating healthy. Yeah, that's really what I'm into right now.
I feel like I went on a journey like that about 2 years ago, and I had like cut out all meat. I was plant-based, like exercising every day, and I kind of like slipped off that. But I'm trying to get better.
Yeah, that's no meat.
Yeah,
like just red meat or like no
meat at all. So just like
so you weren't eating like salmon and shrimp and
no
lobster tails?
No.
R.I.P.
No crab legs.
My gosh.
No crab legs. No nothing.
Dang.
Yeah, how do you stay intentional? Like, how do you keep that up?
How do I stay intentional? I feel like sometimes people think meditating is just like sitting on the ground or like praying, but no, meditating is like a daily thing. Like even like your daily thoughts, what you constantly think about, that is a meditation because that's what your mind is on. And so I try to stay intentional, like even with like negative thoughts. So it's just like, dang, that's negative, why are you thinking like that? Like stop that. And then I try and replace it with a positive thought. So let's see, how do I stay intentional? Just being like, okay, if I really want to like eat healthy and like feel better and be better, what are some things that I can do? So like, for example, I realized maybe eating too much sugar was like breaking me out. I'm like, okay, we need to find a replacement, something that's still good, that you still like, but that you can still get the sweet tooth, but it's not going to affect you in negative ways. And so I'm just like, okay. Then I found overnight oats. Overnight oats are really good. They have like the chocolate ones. And I'm like, okay, when I feel like I want something sweet, then I'll just eat the overnight oats and like some granola, call it a day. Or maybe I'll eat like a mango. Or I'm like, dang, I had fried chicken yesterday. We're not doing that today. Like, you know, just definitely holding yourself accountable and being conscious of the decisions that you make. Yeah. That's how I try and maintain intentionality in my day-to-day life.
And I think that's really good because I was having a conversation with one of my mentors yesterday, and she was just like, everything you do is a choice. So like if you get up and exercise, that's a choice. If you make the decision to do your devotional, or like you said, meditate on the right things or meditate on the wrong thing, like you always have the power to choose what you want. And I feel like sometimes, like just like you said, negative thoughts and like even different mental health struggles can make us feel so powerless. But I think it's always really important to remember that like the choice is still in our hands. You know?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And sometimes it's hard. Like, I was just thinking yesterday, like, this thing is uncontrollable.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, because sometimes your thoughts can just, like, keep going and going and going. But I'm like, you can also, when you find that that's happening, you can also just replace it with a positive thought.
With a positive thought.
Yeah. Even when you're going through things, just being like, you know what, I am going through this thing. And I feel like trials and tribulations are sent to distract you. So it's just like, okay, knowing that, how can I still maintain my peace and know that God is still good and I'm still grateful and I still have a blessed life, regardless of whatever I'm going through.
Yeah. So you think it's possible to keep your peace even when like your environment or your friends are, you know, negative and crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced that?
I'm going through that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, I was talking to one of my friends yesterday and I was just telling her the same thing, like, because we're both like, you know, going through some things. But I'm just like, girl, you got this, okay? And you got to remember, like, again, things are sent in your life to distract you sometimes. Distract you from your focus and the things that you're trying to do for yourself in life. We got to, like, come back to ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I definitely understand you don't ever want to, like, just sweep things under the rug. But you can still be present and go through this thing, but still handle it well.
Handle it well.
Yeah, and have your peace of mind and still joy.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Even in the midst of it.
Yes.
I think that's so good. So, Rajeen, for you, I know that you just had a birthday recently, right? Was it last month or 2 months ago?
2 months ago, June, because now we're in August. The time be passing by so fast.
July went like crazy, but we can talk about that. But you just had a birthday and you turned
28.
28! So being in the last 2 years of your 20s, I know for me, I'm 22, so I'm kind of like starting the beginning of my 20s, even though it feels like I have lived so many lives.
22? I'm literally thinking she like 25.
What?
Yes.
Thank you. What advice? Okay, so you have seen the 20s, you've seen the teens. I know that you went to college at OU, right? So you've seen the college life, all that. What advice would you give to a girl in her younger 20s now looking back from your, you know, as you're a little bit more seasoned?
Avoid credit card debt and bad credit at all costs. Like, seriously, avoid it at all costs.
Okay.
Take care of yourself. Go to therapy. And it's the last one. Forgiveness. I'm definitely like into the fruits of the spirit right now. So just making sure, like, even with therapy, that you're trying to better yourself and be present and be intentional about the life that you want to live and the life that you want for yourself. 3 things. Those are my 3 things.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm glad you touched on debt because I feel like something that our generation is really on right now is like, I hear some people talking about don't acquire any debt. Like all debt is bad debt. Is there good debt that you can get?
There is. So in order to build good credit, because we all want that 800, right?
Yeah.
In order to do that, you have to get a credit card. You have to get a home loan. You have to get a car loan. Or like somebody has to add you on as an authorized user to whatever they're doing. Like their whatever credit cards they have. Like you have to do that in order for companies to see that you are responsible with credit and that you can pay them back. However, your habits are important. So if my credit limit is 10K and I know that anything over 30% is going to start negatively impacting my credit, then we need to stay under 30%.
Okay.
More importantly, we need to make sure that we're not spending more money than we can actually afford to pay back. So carrying over balances or like overspending, that's really where people get in trouble. But then it goes back to awareness and education and money management.
Okay.
Like as a banker with my licenses, because I do have my licenses in annuities and life insurance and investments, knowing these things, I'm like sitting with like 40-year-old women that just have no idea, and I'm able to like teach them and show them like, this is how you create a budget and this is how much money is coming in, and this is how much money you're going out, and these are the areas that you have to improve. So yeah, it goes back to education and just managing your money before you start getting into like credit and things like that. So yeah, that's bad debt is like when you're just doing too much.
Yeah.
Do not get that 10K credit limit and run it up until you get to 12,000. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, I spent $50 at the gas station. I know in a week I can pay off my credit card. Yeah. And that's how you build that good credit history.
Okay. As a young woman or like a young developing woman, as you're watching, how important is it to manage your money and just make sure that you got that on point?
So important. Growing up, my mom always told me, like, no matter who you have in your life or who you know you can depend on, always have your own money.
Yeah.
Always. Because a lot of people, sometimes people don't keep their word. Sometimes you can't depend on people. Sometimes you really just only have yourself. So having your own money, having your own savings, having your own goals, having your own income, that's vital.
Yeah.
Because we need to be self-sufficient. And I'm not saying like I don't need anybody or that we don't need anybody. It's great to have somebody that's there for you, that can do things for you and provide for you. But at the end of the day, you still need to be self-sufficient. And so, yeah.
Are there any like habits that you keep weekly, bi-weekly, like whenever you get paid, to make sure that like you are managing your money and doing good money habits?
Yes. So I have a budget, and so I know I get paid 3 times every month, and I know like this check I have these bills to pay, this check I have these bills to pay, this check I have these bills to pay, and I know I have this amount left over after I pay all of these bills. I also know this is how much my gas is, and this is how much I'm spending on food. So at the end of the month, this is how much I know I can put in my savings every month. Unless something comes up, then it's just okay, I have to adjust the plan. And that's another thing. I feel like people think like, oh, I can't stick to this budget. Your budget is malleable. So maybe something did come up. Like maybe you weren't able to save the $1,500 that you thought. Maybe it's only going to be $900 or $500. That's okay. It can go up and down. Your budget is supposed to change as your life changes. But just making sure that you're keeping those habits and you're sticking to the plan.
Yeah. Okay. As a 28-year-old beautiful business owner, businesswoman, just doing your thing, how has it been with like dating in your Christian journey and kind of like transitioning over? How has that been?
Dating has been very interesting. I just got intentional with dating too. I feel like sometimes as like you're younger, you know you want somebody. And I've been struggling with that too, like knowing that I do want like companionship and like a relationship, but also just making sure that my heart is in the right place.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest advice that I would give to somebody that's like younger or even now, like just making sure your heart is in the right place. Like, why do you want to date? Why do you want somebody in your life? And then more importantly, are you making this person or this thing or this desire bigger and more important than God? Because if you are, it's never going to work out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what in you do you feel like having this person in your life is going to fulfill that you or God cannot fulfill? Like, yeah, so just wholeness, just knowing like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Do I want somebody there? Yeah. But whatever things in myself that I feel like are lacking or like broken, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I'm whole. And one person cannot come into my life and like change that.
Yeah.
Only I'm in control of that. And so that's the perspective that I have when I approach dating now. And yeah, just being more intentional. Like, I'm with this person because I like this person and I love this person. And I'm here to support and uplift this person. Not so they can fix or fulfill whatever I feel like I'm lacking.
That's good. Going into it, and I know we were talking about this when we were even planning this episode, is a lot of the red flags we see with people dating our age is like we want a person to, like you said, feel this need instead of going into it with like a servant mentality of how can I help you? How can I serve you? Like, how can I make you better? I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, what can this man do for me? Or like, you know, like the whole city girls, like, you're just supposed to give me a bag or, you know, all this crazy stuff. And it's just like, it's so toxic and it's so crazy. And it's just like, how did these messages become the headline of our generation? And it's even down to the point of like, we don't even consider the character of people anymore. It's just always about, okay, what can they do for me? How can they make my life better? And it's like, if you call yourself a Christian and you living like that, that's crazy.
Even now, just like developing relationships, I just want to be friends first. I just want to see like, do you have the qualities of like a good human being?
Right.
Do I actually like you when I'm sober? Like, do I like you during the daytime?
Wow.
No, seriously, like, do I like you
Run
during
that
the
back.
daytime?
Do I like you when I'm sober? And I'm not just talking about drugs and
Yeah.
alcohol. Do I like you when there's no sex involved?
Yeah.
Do I like you when you're not doing, you know, whatever to make me feel whatever? Do I still like you? Are you still beneficial to my life? And I think a lot of people, if they take sex away, if they take away like all the dates and the whining and dining, they'll find that like they don't want that person.
And a lot of times they often don't. But that's a whole nother culture. That's like a whole nother conversation. I could talk about this all day because it is like different types of people. And I also feel like while that culture that's being like, you know, pushed is not positive, that just goes back to how people were raised and the environments that they were in. Mm-hmm. And generational curses are a thing. So yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
You got time. I'm just kidding.
We got time. And I will just even say too, to our conversation that we're having, you know, behind closed doors, even with dating, what has that process been like for you as, you know, almost, you know, 30-year-old woman with your journey to celibacy? How has that been? Because it's like, I know we supposed to be like, I know sex before marriage is wrong. And of course we know that. But like at the same time, it's like we're still human. We're still grown. Like, how do you find yourself navigating that?
With any decision, I feel like when you change your mind, you change your mind. Mm. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. It's you make a commitment because you realize you want this thing more than you want this thing. And
wait, hold on. We're not going to act like you didn't just say that. Say that one more time.
I want this more than I want this.
Yeah.
And so with that, that's how you establish that commitment, not just to yourself, but to God. And it's just like, okay, that's it. I'm just done. Mm. So for me, I felt like I just wanted to develop my relationship with God more and be to myself more and be committed to myself and respect myself more and actually establish boundaries.
That's so good.
More than I wanted to be with somebody. Mm. And so at this point, it's just like, if you don't respect this, then you can't be in my life. Yeah. And that's okay. Because I want my relationship with God more. And I want a better life for myself more than I want this.
And have you seen the fruitfulness of that?
Yes. Oh my God. So much peace.
Yeah.
So much peace. And it's crazy because I remember, I think like 2018, I had started thinking about it. But I just wasn't ready yet. I just hadn't made the commitment. Mm-hmm. And now we're in it. And the way that I came about is so funny. I'm not even getting into that. But yeah, it's just like it's a different type of like energy. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, wow, like I have so much peace and so much more clarity.
Yes. Because I feel like it goes back to that thing about, do I like you when I'm sober? I feel like there is a type of sobriety that comes from, I'm not giving you my body. Like, I'm not just drunk in love with your body parts. I'm in love with you. And I liked what you said about respecting yourself, because growing up, something my mom instilled in me in high school was like, don't be, you know, like spending the night over guys' house in high school and like doing all that type of stuff. Like, respect yourself. And I was always like, Mom, you are doing too much. Like, if I spend the night, it's fine. It's my decision. But like growing up, I'm so glad that she instilled that in me, because I feel like it's like something that keeps me on reserve.
Yeah.
You can spend a night with anybody. You can have a night with anybody, but it's just like, it's something about it, I don't know how to, it's like me keeping something. It's like I'm not giving you everything of me. And so if you leave, or when you leave, like, you're not taking me.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like so many people fall into like doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And then when that person leaves, like, they've lost their identity.
Yeah. For sure. Because it's easy to just give so much of yourself
at one
to
time,
the point that you feel like you're self-sacrificing. And that's genuinely how I felt. And I'm like, you know what? Whether me choosing celibacy sacrifices my relationship, this is just what it's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
Because now I wake up and I just wasn't feeling like myself. I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't content. I just constantly felt like I was striving every day to be something that somebody else wanted me to be, and trying to make somebody else happy. But I'm just like, I'm not happy.
Wow.
I'm not happy. This is not working for me. So I prayed, and I'm like, God, if I'm supposed to be celibate, just let me know. That experience was crazy. I just remember like having my chest feel like so hot. Like, literally it felt boiling. And I'm just like, you know what? We doing it.
Yeah.
We doing it. Because I just don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is the best decision for me. And whatever happens after this happens. I know this is the right decision to make.
For you.
And it was, yeah. And I grew up the same way. Like my mom, and I was raised by my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
It was just like, even the friends that I had in high school, they was already spending the night at their boyfriend's house. I'm like, your mama letting you do that in her house? Stop it. Stop it. No.
And now we see like how they've, you know, how life has turned out. And it's like, girl, life has not been kind to you.
Just protection all around. Thank you, God, for my parents.
Literally.
Because, yeah, I'm just like,
protection that didn't seem like protection.
Yeah, we 15, you doing that? That's crazy. Stop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely feel that. But it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It really is a blessing. Because I used to think she was tripping too. I'm like, I can have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's fine. I have a boyfriend. But just make sure, like, you have these boundaries in place.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I would definitely tell somebody that. I think it's kind of easy to maybe like look at you and you see like all the good things. Like you see the business, you see the, you know, how you carry yourself and all that. And people don't really see the low moments. What would you tell somebody about that? Because I know you said you will wake up every day and of course you were striving, maybe doing what you were supposed to do, but you weren't content inside.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody who feels like, you know, they're striving and doing stuff, but how to live in themselves authentically?
I went to therapy. I'm not even gonna lie. I did, because sometimes you need it. And I'm not saying that God is not enough, but sometimes you just need that extra support. And I feel like sometimes people can only push God. They don't push going to therapy. They don't push journaling. They don't
accountability.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes you also need other ways to discover yourself and figure out what is it really in me.
Yeah.
And so with like having the low moments, therapy really, really did help, because it's just like, I'm resilient. I'm strong. I know that everything's going to be okay. I know that I can get through this. I know that I've been through other things and God has gotten me through.
Yeah.
I know that this is just a moment and that this is going to pass. Just faith and hope have really gotten me through. And then knowing that whatever it is that I'm going through, I'm capable. I'm capable. Yeah. We got this. Like, let's go. But sometimes it is hard to like get up and like be happy and still realize like how great your life is. Especially like these past couple of weeks, like it's been challenging.
It's been a lot.
But I'm still like, Rajin, like, you still have your health. You're still able to get up and walk around, and you have people that love you, and you have people in your life that you can support, that support you, that you love, that you care about. You have great things in life to look forward to. Like, this is just one area or aspect of your life, and that doesn't have to determine or control how you feel inside and wake up every day.
Yeah. And I think that's the same for me. One of the things I love about therapy is it gives you a new way to think. And I saw this quote on Instagram. It was like, I'm in therapy, or a lot of people are in therapy because of the people in their lives who won't go to therapy. And it's like, even though I'm in here because of the trauma you did to me,
literally,
I'm still getting better and I'm still getting healthier, because like, even at the end of the day, if you do go through stuff, like, it's still up to you, that accountability. Like, I want to live better. I want to do better for myself. And that's what therapy helps me do too.
Yeah. Just making a decision to like, okay, I'm not going to let this defeat me. Mm-hmm. What? Because like, for me, it's just like, and I've been there, but it's just like, now that I've overcome that, it's not an option. Like, we got this. We got this. And I just tell myself every day, like, you got this. Yeah. You're going to be okay.
Do you think you went to therapy from a place of like, okay, this is something I want to try, or like, this is something I have to do? Because I feel like in my case, like, I don't know if I ever said this, but like, therapy for me came from a place of something I had to do. Like, I was literally having a psychotic episode and I needed to it was during COVID. I was able to still show up for school and stuff, but like, I was going through a lot mentally. And my therapist helped me work through that, got a diagnosis and everything. But it's like, I was at my breaking point. Like, I had no choice but to go. Yeah. Do you feel like it was the same for you, or was it just something like almost like self-improvement? Because I think that's,
I had to. Mm-hmm. I was at that point too, because I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, and I was having anxiety attacks too, and I just did not know what was going on. Same. I'm like, okay, something is not right. Yeah. So yeah, I had to, and now I'm at a place where it's just like, I'm going because I want to. Yeah. And that's a blessing to get to that point, because a lot of people don't make it. Like, I think sometimes we forget, like, suicide is real. Like, some people don't make it out of that place. No, seriously.
And to just be like, oh, now I'm going to therapy once a month instead of like twice a week. That's a blessing.
No, because literally I was in there twice a week, and now it's just like every other month I'm able to like just still check back in.
That's a blessing.
For real. No, seriously. Every twice a week we was in there. Yeah. We was in there. And then I'm just like, I was so happy when I got to a point where it's just like, okay, once a week. And then once every 2 weeks. And now it's once a month. And then I took a break. And now it's every now and then. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, okay. Just to see the growth. And again, like, the resilience. It is a blessing. But yeah, I went because I had to. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And even like being around my family, sometimes they just don't have the awareness, or like sometimes they just blatantly ignore it just because they're scared or whatever it may be. But yeah, sometimes you just really need to faith over fear and just do what you may not even understand yourself, but you know you just got to do something. Yeah. And that's where I was.
Do you feel like you incorporate those boundaries with your family who may not like understand what they're doing is like toxic or wrong, or
all the time? Okay. All the time. Just, and that's something that I learned in therapy too. Like, I'm very discerning about what I say and what I give my time and my energy to, because some people I know it's just a waste of time. They're just not going to get it. And at that point, I can't do nothing. I can pray for you and I can wish the best for you. And we're going to have to keep our distance because I'm saved. I promise I'm saved, but don't. But please. I'm not soft. Yeah, just don't do me. So, yeah, it's just like creating those boundaries for sure, and just standing firm and being confident in who you are, and just knowing that's like, so good. Who is man to God? What do you? We gonna say what we gotta say, and this is how I feel. And please put some respect on my name, because I'm trying my best. Yeah. I feel you don't want to see me when I'm not trying. Like,
I feel like as I develop in my grown woman journey and like, you know, living by myself and being more adulting, I feel like it came with a little pushback from my family because it's like they still want to see me as like this little girl, and I'm like,
naturally,
I love you, I respect you, but respectfully, like I'm grown. So how do you think you can do those boundaries with your family while still being respectful? Because it's like you don't want to burn bridges. You don't want people to
For
be,
sure.
Whatever. But still, like you said, saying like this is how I live my life, and I'm sorry if you don't agree with it.
I don't like that you said that to me. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate an apology. You don't have to apologize. But I would like one. And I don't really like that you said that to me. So can you not do that again? And some people, they're just like, you know what? You're right. And then it's just like, okay, I respect that you respect me enough to say that. But then other people, it's just like, they just don't get it. And it's just like, okay, you obviously don't feel like you have to respect me. And that's fine. Just know we ain't really got much to say after this.
Do you think that's harder to do in like our like Black families? Because I feel like Black people don't understand apologies. Like parents giving a child an apology, like grandparents giving your kids an apology, that's unheard of. And it's like I feel like that keeps us from healing and from growing because like that's just not their culture.
Yeah, and I feel like me and my mom talked about that too, just like having boundaries. Mm-hmm. And she still don't get it. Like she still don't get it. She's still like, well, that's your family and this is your dad, and I'm just, I get that. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. But at the end of the day, I want to live a certain type of life, and I want certain type of people around me. I want people around me that love me, that respect me, that understand me, that can show up for me, that are loving, that are not malicious, and that also are intentional about how they treat people. If they can't do that for me, that's just somebody that I don't need to be around, because then we are self-sacrificing again.
Yeah.
And
that's what we not gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So they can get with the program or they can move around.
Yeah. Do you have those type of boundaries in your friendships too? Are you still making friends as an adult? Are you still?
I am. Okay. I am. You're my friend. Michaela's my friend. Wait, I'm name dropping, but Ari, she's great too. And I'm just like, okay, we love the style. We love the personality. Yeah. So I'm definitely open to like making more friends. But sometimes I feel it is like hard. Like I feel like it's easier in this environment because it's an open heart environment.
Yeah.
In some environments, it's not that like that. And so it's just like, okay, I'm nice, I'm kind, and I'm open to getting to know you. You're just not receptive of that, and that's okay. Maybe you're just somebody that I don't need to be around. But I am still making new friends, and I'm open to making new friends because I do want those type of relationships. Like one of the things that I love that you and Michaela are able to do, I love when I like tell you when I'm like going through something or like something's happening or like how I'm feeling, and then you guys just encourage me in the word. I'm like, I want to strive to do that in my friendships too, because it's so enriching and it makes my heart so full, and I'm like, dang, like my people.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely making new friends. I love that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely am open to making new friends all the time.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm in a good season of friendships right now. I feel like growing up, I did not have authentic friends at all. And I think that's just because I always found myself being like a little bit more advanced than everybody. And while everybody was doing like petty stuff and being mean, I'm like, I'm literally just coming with a genuine heart. Like, I just want to love you. And I think I had to learn quick that like everybody doesn't have good intentions. And what I'm not finna be doing is pouring my heart and life out and you treat me bad.
Yeah. So, I went through one of those and I just realized like this ain't what I want for me.
Yeah.
And so I love you. I swear I love you. Because we've been going through a lot. And I've been letting you run me through the ringer. But I just can't.
I feel like friendship hurt is the worst pain that we don't talk about. And it's like, I'm still in certain ways recovering from like my high school best friend who I thought like, girl, we supposed to be best friends forever. You supposed to be my wedding. And like something very small happened between us and we are not even in contact anymore. And my mom was telling me from the beginning, like, that's not your friend. That's not your real friend.
We hate to hear it. No, seriously.
But it's just like, you have an open heart. And it's like, no, she's just going through a tough time. But it's like, no, she just was not there. Do you have any experience with like losing a really close friend? And how
same experience,
Yeah.
like same exact like situation. And it was
it's
just
really
like
trifling and hurtful.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't understand why I'm like really showing up every day, like showing you that I love you, and it's just not being reciprocated.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I need to take a step back. And it was hard because I'm just like, I just had a lot of faith and hope.
Yeah.
But I'm like, sometimes you really do have to accept people for where they are and just let it go if you feel like you can't just keep holding on.
Yeah. And I feel like the older I get, the more I see it as God's divine protection, just like what you were saying with even like with my friend, that situation happened, even with like becoming an AKA. Like, you know, people go into sorority, they're like, oh, it's going to be a sisterhood, it's going to be whatever. And it's just, I found so many disappointments with like the girls I thought who were supposed to be my sisters forever.
I'm sorry.
So many disappointments. It's fine. But it's just like, you really do have to let it go. But even in that, like, I still see God like divinely keeping his hand on me and protecting me from like some of the things they're going through now that I won't ever have to experience. And it's hard because it's like, well, I do want to go through it with you in a
I just want to be
but
there.
Is that like even crazy to think that?
No. Sometimes I still think about like old friends that I had, and I'm just like, because for real, is like, dang, like I'm heartbroken, like, because this is somebody that you talk to about everything that literally knows the worst and the best parts of you. So it's just like, to just separate, it's just your life. My life felt empty for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dang, because I loved you so much, but you just really dropped the ball, and I cannot ignore that.
And I think that's more of a women thing, because I feel like with guys, like I was even talking to my boyfriend about this, but just...
Cause like I might be tripping. I might have to dub back.
And he's just like, if somebody don't want to be your friend no more, like you just cut the loss and you move on. Like, Phil, is that how guys are? Yeah, like guys, you just cut the loss and move on. But with
we
girls,
heartbroken.
We be crying, want to make amends, and guys are just literally like, we just keep it moving.
Heartbroken, okay.
Sometimes
who I'm gonna get Chipotle with now?
Sometimes I wish like. I love being a girl, but I'm like, guys, sometimes I wish I just had like a guy mentality, because the way guys can move on and just cut, it's crazy.
But they make friends so quickly too. They move on like that because they know they're gonna make another friend in 5 minutes.
But I feel like their friends are like the people who've been there for forever. I feel like they don't make new. I think they are no new friends.
Yeah, me, I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, literally.
Every time. We crying in the pillow. Looking through the old photos. I still be looking on the Instagram page like, are you okay?
I don't do that anymore. I might do the LinkedIn page every like year, but...
Shameless plug. I do that. I just want to make sure you okay. No, I swear. I wonder if they're going to watch this. Do I sound like crazy?
No, you don't. You sound like a girl. I think it's all like girls go through this. Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
It's okay. We got to do a part 2 because we got to talk more about this. But as we close, like, is there anything that you feel like we left unsaid? Is there anything you want to leave on the mic, on the floor that we haven't talked about before we go?
It's in our notes. Or is it in the notes? I don't know. Is this... Never mind. Talking too much.
Just authentic convo.
So I remember... a couple years ago when I was just really going through a hard time, and this lady, I met her like on set of like this show that I was doing, and she invited me to her house like a couple weeks later because we had rapped and she was doing her own thing. And when I tell you, this lady,
wait, hold on, you rap?
We had rapped like the show that we were filming.
Rapped the show.
And so this lady read me up and down. She was like, God is telling me to tell you this right now. She was like, you need to get out of this relationship. Also, I know what you've been through. You need to stop thinking so negatively. You need to go back to church, and you need to surrender your life to God. And that was at the beginning of 2023.
Yeah.
And I did what she said. I didn't go to church because it was still like some shame there. But I did get out of that relationship, and I did start being more intentional about my relationship with God. And then this year, I actually started coming back to church. And it's been one of the best decisions. For real, for real. That one conversation with that lady did change my life. And it made me think about what I really wanted for myself and what I really wanted in life and what I needed.
That's good.
And so now, like before, I feel like I was just like all over the place. Like my mom was everywhere because I was going through a lot. But now I just like live my life intentionally, and everybody wants like things in life. Everybody wants like a nice car and a family and a big house and like a great career and like all this money. No, like seriously. And those are like real things, like real goals. But at the end of the day, like after starting to be more involved in our church community and developing a relationship with God, I realized I really only want 3 things, and that is peace, joy, and love. And that's how I live my life now. And anything after that is really just a blessing. And so for women that are in their 20s, it's just like think about what you really, really want and what your heart and your spirit really, really needs. Because maybe you say you want the job, but maybe it's not the job that you want. Maybe it's just like the security of knowing that everything is going to be okay. Maybe it's not the relationship that you want. Maybe it's really just knowing that you're not alone and you're never alone. God is always with you.
Yeah.
You know? And I know you're going through a lot. Maybe you're like stressed. Maybe a weed or a drink isn't what you need. Maybe you don't need to go out. Maybe you just want peace of mind.
Yeah.
Just figure out what you really want and what you really need. And know yourself. And take time to discover yourself and be by yourself and journal. And open your heart to yourself. Like, what is it? What is it? What am I going through?
Yeah.
That's what I want to leave saying.
Yeah. I feel very blessed to know you and to just see your growth in God.
Thank
it's
you.
very, very, very beautiful to watch. Can you pray us out? Are you open?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Pray us out.
Hand.
My nail's not done. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we can just okay. Yeah, I got you.
Great friend.
God, thank you for everything that you have done for us today. I ask that you forgive us for our sins, that you cover us, that you guide us, that you keep us, that you protect us, and that you give us calm spirits. God, we need you every day, now and forever. And I just thank you for your grace and for your mercy and for your kindness and for your provision. You've been so good to us. You've been so good to me. And I just want to thank you every single day. I want to thank you for not leaving me. I want to thank you for loving me and protecting me and saving me from myself. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I really am so blessed.
Thank you, God.
Thank you so much, God. In Jesus' name I pray. And I thank you again. Amen.
Amen.
So you can follow me on Instagram at RogeneclairecE. That's Rajin Clarice at Instagram.
And you can find me on Instagram. I always try to look it up so I can spell it right. It's RAVNLYNN. That'll take you to my YouTube channel, my links, and this newest video. I'm so excited.
No, me too.
Yes.
This is so cool. No, seriously, I'm like, I do not know why this girl invited me to this podcast to talk. What am I going to say to these people? Just having imposter syndrome, for real.
It's okay.
But I'm just like, we're going to show up and we're going to see. God got to take it from here. He got to take the wheel from here.
And he's going to get the glory.
Yeah, but I'm like, I hope I say the right thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. That's crazy. I guess the conversation's going to keep going. I was thinking about that in the mirror this morning. I was like, why am I going? Like, will I have anything to say? Like, what's the deal? But I just feel like it goes back to everything you said is faith over fear. And it's just like walking in what God told you to do, even if it don't make sense.
Literally.
Because he got us. And I believe that he got the glory out of this convo. I believe that something we said is going to really touch somebody's heart. And like
that's the
that,
hope. That's the goal.
And that's it. And that's what I do it for.
That's the intention. The goal, like when I share my story, is just to really help somebody else, especially women. No offense to the guys. Yeah, I'm like, y'all got your own people. I feel like that's one of the most frustrating things. I feel like when people see beautiful women, they just be like so mad. And it's just like, why are you mad at me? You don't even know what I've been through. If you knew what I've been through, you wouldn't be mad at me, babe.
If you knew what I've been through, you would rejoice.
You wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't be jealous. You wouldn't be envious. You'd be just like, dang. At least her outfit nice. God bless her. Instead of being over here mad, like, just be friendly. Just be friendly.
Yeah, we should have talked about that too, because jealousy is really,
And I just don't understand, like, where does it come from? Like,
I think it comes from low self-esteem. I think it comes from thinking like two things can't exist at the same time. Like, she can't be beautiful and I be beautiful too. Or like, they can't have an awesome podcast and I can't have one too. Like, both things can exist at the same time.
We can all thrive. Like, we can all thrive.
And it's not for us anyway. It's for God. Yeah. I have theories on jealousy. I think it's a lack of humility.
It's just so weird. I'll be going through that. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm funny. And I'm also a good person. Like, and I'm genuine. I show up for my people. Yes. Like, you're really missing out just because you over there acting funny. Like, you got this weird spirit going on. Weird spirit. No, seriously. And it's just like, you know what? That's fine. I know where not to be. Okay. Seriously.
Literally. And it's sometimes not even just girls. Sometimes it's guys who be acting weird too.
No, that goes back to like upbringing. I feel like it's very weird to think it's okay to talk to women a certain type of way or treat women a certain type of way or like use and abuse women. I think that's so weird. But also, I know you got that from somewhere.
Yeah.
I know you got that from somewhere.
The pit of hell itself.
I know you got that from somewhere. I know we're not to be. I know we're not to be. We did this.
We did that. Part 2 coming soon. Bye, y'all.